Mike's back with us. We haven't seen you in a minute. We are happy to see you. How was it today?
It was really good. You know, the Jazz just kept pushing and pushing. They came out with a win after that New Orleans loss. You know, kind of don't want to lose in that fashion. But, you know, I guess good things have to come to an end. But, you know, they got right back on track today with a win.
So, I mean, we don't usually talk about past games as much. There's a reason why do you think we're having such a hard time with Brandon Ingram the last 2 times we've played him? Do you think that's indicative of anything, or it's just a one-off game?
I think it's just a one-off game. I think that game was just a rough one for us. You know, it's going to happen. You know, you're going to lose that game at some point. And I think it was just, you know, a hard way to lose.
And then big turnaround today, though. A lot of people are saying that they didn't even show, like the Kings didn't even show up. What attributed to, you know, the Jazz's performance today? Who were you most impressed with?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I think I was most impressed today with, oh man, that is so tough. I think Rudy.
Yeah.
I think I was most impressed with Rudy. You know, he almost had a 30-point game, had a few blocks in there, and he just dominated tonight. But you also had Mitchell, Bogdanovich scoring up in the 20s. Conley came back. He got some minutes. You know, he hit a shot. Clarkson, I think, best pickup so far ever since, you know, we were 10-0 with him when it first started. Then we just lost that one game against New Orleans. But I mean,
is it him or Tucker?
Oh yeah. It's no, I don't know, man. Tucker could be that lucky piece. You never know. But no, yeah, Jordan Clarkson has been a great piece great add to this Jazz team.
So, and one thing, on away games, I usually lurk on away subreddits. And it seems like on the NBA subreddit and then also other team subreddits, there is finally national recognition that a Defensive Player of the Year can be an All-Star. He's got to get it this year, right?
He has to get it. I saw something on Twitter, I think it was yesterday. It was like MVP rankings or something like that, like the top 10. And Rudy was up there, like number 7 or 8 or something like that. However, if he doesn't get All-Star, I think that is absolutely ridiculous. But also, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, you're automatically an All-Star.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to go to an All-Star game to be considered an All-Star. He is an All-Star already. But I think it's a popularity contest. I mean, you're not going to get a defensive player into the All-Star game because no one wants to see defense. They want to see, you know, the high-flying dunks. They want to see ridiculous threes. No one plays defense in an All-Star game, so they don't want a defensive player in an All-Star game. They don't want someone to shut down the high-powered, high-octane offense. But I think with how Rudy has upped his offensive game this year, I think we could see him be an All-Star.
I hope so. And then one other thing, so the big news today is Conley coming back. I actually am really interested on your take on this. Again, I've said this on a few other interviews. You go online, there's this weird hatred. You've been on Twitter. There's this like weird hatred for Conley from some people want him traded. But then you come here, everybody's excited about him. Do you want him, I know you're excited about him, do you want him coming off the bench or in the starting lineup? What are you most comfortable with?
For Conley right now, just working him back into the game for just the moment. I think coming off the bench is the best way for him to slowly work his way back into the starting lineup. One thing that I'm most impressive with Conley, his turnover ratio. He doesn't turn the ball over often, and he plays pretty good defense. You know, Emmanuel Mudiay, he's been playing really well too, you know, in Conley's absence. In his last few games, he's been playing really well. Yeah, for Mike Conley, just off the bench for now, and I think slowly work his way back up to being starting. And the Jazz are a second half of the season type of team. You know, the last few seasons, their second half of the season has always been so much better than the first half. So I think Mike Conley can really pick it up in the second half of the season.
Yeah, and I think spacing was an issue we talked about this before too. Spacing was an issue for Joe in the second unit when Jeff Green was here and Exum was here, and Exum didn't play, but spacing was an issue. I don't think he's going to make his own shot. I think Jordan Clarkson's that piece that pushes Joe into the leader on the second unit, and there's no drop off in threes. We've got Niang, Ingles, and Clarkson all can hit threes. I'm super excited to get Conley back in the starting lineup, but yeah, man, we appreciate you coming out and hope to see you again.
Yep, sounds good.
Thanks, Mike.